The Witching Hour, August 4th, 2025. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Cause you're beautiful. That's why. So, yeah, today my prayers went 2 hours and 38 minutes, which is over, which keeps my commitment to the Lord, which is 2 hours, 24 minutes minimum every day. But it's still well under 3 hours. So it's kind of I guess it's kind of nice in a sense because I get more time to study. But praying longer, when my prayers routinely went over 3 hours, even 4 hours, and sometimes over 5 hours, it's more time you get to spend with the Lord. And I feel like the Lord didn't have, the Lord hadn't brought me to the level of self control He has in the last month, where the last 4 weeks I've studied Pittman shorthand, which is a priority to me, every day, 6 days a week. Of course, I can't study on Sabbath. And yesterday, if the Lord willing, and I study every day of this week, this will be week number 5 that I haven't missed a single day studying outside of Sabbath. And yesterday, you guys, I kind of study like I heard how they study in Japan, where they'll study in like half-hour intervals and they take little breaks rather than studying for hours at a time. And so my intervals go anywhere from a half hour to 45 minutes. They probably lean more towards 45 minutes. And you guys, I had 14 of these intervals throughout the day. I can tell you for a fact that study is exhausting. And I suspect my total study yesterday was about 10 hours, again, in intervals. And I was so tired, y'all. I did not pray in the witching hour. I prayed. I started praying about a little after 3 a.m. So I actually started praying a little after the witching hour ended, which is okay because my sleep's been really strange. Like I slept several times yesterday, a couple hours at a time, and then finally last night I went to sleep at, oh gosh, what time did I go to sleep? I went to sleep like 8 something, and then like I said, I woke up at 3 in the morning. So yeah, I wanted to sleep more because I still felt a little bit tired, but not tired enough to go back to bed apparently because I wasn't able to go back to sleep. So I said, let me go ahead and do my prayers for the day. I got a lot to do. Y'all obviously know I can't study 10 hours a day every day. Like I have to go shopping, I have laundry, I have to bathe. I haven't bathed in 3 days, by the way. The weather's been cool, so I've been able to get away with it. Where like when the weather's hot, a lot of times I have to bathe almost every day because I'll stink so bad. I'll start stinking and being sweaty and sticky by the end of the day. Cheyenne is interesting. The weather here is it's very dry, arid winters and very cold, but then the summers for some reason they get humid, and it's not like it's as bad as Florida where it's just. When I was in Florida from 9 weeks for 9 weeks from April to June. And yeah, most of that time I was in West Palm Beach, and I mean it was so humid. It was just like, I mean, you're sweating the whole time. Fortunately, I bought a small fan, probably half or more than half of that time that I lived in West Palm Beach. I was living in an abandoned building. Um, And I remember I had bought a small little battery powered fan. And because you're sort of sweating all night, it creates a pretty decent cooling system as your sweat evaporates and it cools you. So otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to sleep at all. I would have just probably just overheated, put it like that. So the summers here are not that pleasant, but generally speaking, I mean, they're not as hot as Southern California or like um, Florida. Like it will get, sometimes it will, yes, it will get over 100 degrees, but a lot of times it can be August and it'll be in the 80s. And when it's that temperature, or even in the 70s occasionally, sometimes, then it's actually pleasant. So the Lord's good. He gives us breaks. The weather manipulation that they're doing here is insane. I mean, we're having like basically quarter size hail. Thankfully to God, in July, by the way, you guys, in July. June, July, and they're predicting there would be some more of this in August. Like seriously, we're having rain and hail, and some of this hail, quarter size hail. Whenever that happens, I just pray to God that He will let the hail not be bigger than that, because this hail, if this hail comes down like the size of golf balls or bigger, that's when it starts doing damage to your building. It can break your windows. It can mess up the siding on your home. I don't know if it does, if it can do roof damage, but maybe it can do roof damage as well. It's insane. God's protection of me as I was praying was pretty awesome. It's always awesome, and I praise His holy name. He did not let them even come close to overwhelming me, and I praise Him for that. Because the Lord brought me to a record amount of studying yesterday, praise His holy name, it kind of like, I just want to share this for my own good, to be honest. It's kind of helped me to wrap my mind around the idea, okay, studying Pittman Shorthand, it takes a ton of time. And just time, practicing. And so it's like my whole life now is going to be revolving around Pittman Shorthand. The only thing that's going to take priority over study is going to be the Lord and prayer. That comes first. But then I have to start wrapping my mind around the idea of like everything that I do has to be guarded by like I used to go take these really long trips. Like there's a Walmart that's like maybe 4 miles from me, right? But I would go to this other Walmart that was over 7 miles just for the exercise. Or there's a Ralph's that's like 0.7 miles from me. And I would go to this other Ralph that was over this other, it's not Ralph's. Why am I saying Ralph's? Albertsons. I would go to this other Albertsons that's like over 7 miles, again, for exercise. But then this takes like, this will take you like 3 hours to do the shopping, because I have to bicycle this whole way. And praise God for coffee, Lord. Thank you for this coffee. And so it would take me like 3 hours, sometimes maybe longer. And I'm like, I now realize I don't have that time. This time needs to be devoted towards studying, because Pittman Shorthand is probably the fastest form of shorthand. I think that if you master it, you can probably, I'm assuming, get to around 300 words a minute, and certainly over 200 words a minute, because the world's record for shorthand, it is Pittman, was the form, and the person got to 350 words a minute. So that's amazing. But yeah, I always encourage you, beautiful folks, to pay your tithes and offerings. Pay your tithes and offerings. Pay your tithes and offerings. Y'all, I'm should not be multitasking, and I apologize, but this is how I do these videos. I was checking I have my notifications down, which is awesome, because it kind of prevents them. I give God the credit for giving me this idea. They'll hit my phone with something that causes the phone to either get really bright or really dark, and most people can't even see it. If you haven't been hit with radiation like I have been hit with X-rays without the benefit of a lead jacket. And so this means that I can see ultraviolet, because it affects the light receptors in your eyes. And it also means that you can hear outside of the normal range of hearing, because it affects your eardrum. So as weird as this might sound, it's true, and I'm not the only TI that has been targeted in this way, but it's uncommon. It's not what they resort to for most TIs, but because I was speaking out against what was going on in California, the Mexican cartels taking over and all of this stuff. I mean, they've taken over the state government, the drug trafficking, they've taken over the gangs. They've turned Los Angeles and the state of California into a hellhole. And while people may not agree exactly with what Trump's doing, he is making it better, because the Most homeless folks are not dealing, but even if it's only 10% of them, well, something like half the homeless folks in the country live in California. That's like almost 400,000 folks on the street. And if you got 10% of them are dealing, and trust me, I know for a fact they're dealing. I've seen it with my own eyes because I lived in a part of Los Angeles where there was a ton of homelessness, dealing out of their tent. Even if it's only 10%, you guys, that's 40,000 people that are dealing on the street. So that's what the Mexican cartels have done is they've resorted to using folks who are homeless, desperate. Nobody will help them because we don't respect folks who are homeless. They need toilet paper. They need food. They need basic needs. And so some of them have resorted to this. And it's sad that all of them are being kind of like punished for what probably 10 to 20% of them are doing, but it just makes the availability of these really dangerous substances just way too easy. Way too easy. And that's not good. But anyway, I went off on a tangent. I always tell you, beautiful born again TIs, pay your tithes and offerings. Pay your tithes and offerings, pay your tithes and offerings, pay your tithes and offerings. Help the poor. One of the most important things that you could ever do to begin to usher in and to realize or to experience the reality of the Lord working miracles for you. He carries me through all this targeting like it's not even a big deal. And I'm not bragging about me, you guys. I'm bragging about the Lord. But the reason is because God has made me do two separate things without fail. One is to pay tithes and offerings to help the poor. And the other is to spend 10% of my day minimum in prayer to him. And if you guys do those same things without fail, every time you get income, it's not a one-time thing. Every time you get income or resources, you live sacrificially and you set some of that money aside, at least 10%, and you help people in the third world who might otherwise die of starvation. And then you tithe your time to the Lord through prayer, and you will begin to experience the Most High God working powerfully and miraculously on your behalf, just like he does for me. I send out my love to all you beautiful born again TIs. God bless.